Schoen picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlinger Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Love.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
Let's subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo!
If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV.
Deviens membre Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Stop Ulti TV. Följ eroginkime, Ultimate of Andromeda.
Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Thumbs up for Ulti
Everyone,
TV.
follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member of Ulti.tv.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe, Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Right now,
He's gonna have to bid. Just a
football!
Huge layout block, unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Welcome to the last game of the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship, or more specifically, the World Junior Ultimate Championship. Under 20 Open final is done, the US taking home the trophy, the French leaving with silver and loads of new experience under their belts. The under-20 women's final is about to unfold on pitch 1 at Pola Marsowe here in Wrocław, Poland. You would think it's a rematch if it wasn't a different division. The US taking on France once more. For the last time, checking in from the commentary booth is myself, Rachel Toschnerova, joined by my favorite Austrian, Kristina Obermeier. Kristina, can you give us a bit of insight on the journey of these teams to this World Championship final?
Of course I can, Rachel. Hi, everyone. Thanks for this high praise of being your favorite Austrian. I love that. And both teams have had a great week. The US, undefeated so far, 8 wins in 8 games, really pushing every single team to the brinks and winning every single one of those matchups. They have a win rate of 100%. So the way the system works is there was 2 initial pools of 6, and then these pools played it out. USA winning this one pool, France winning the other pool. Kind of, no, of course they were second because they lost to the Czech Republic. So in this Pool B matchup early, France got second, so which meant that US, France, Czech Republic, who won that pool, and New Zealand as well, went to a power pool phase. They faced off against each other as well.
And they secured their spots in the semis early, not having to play that crossover game with the lower pool.
Exactly, and to get to those semis. So in the semi-final, the US matched up against Canada, who worked their way all the way back into the semi from the lower pool, dismantling the Czech side. And then on the other hand, there was the French side battling Italy, and they came out victorious, which makes them, both of these teams, contenders in this final today.
And as the players on the pitch finish up their spirit lines, we, at the WFDF events, like to have the standard of a pre-game spirit circle where the players have a chance to discuss their playing styles or just generally introduce themselves, make sure that the level of contact is established early on. We are live at the WFDF YouTube channel. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to participate in the discussion, in the chat. But please remember, this is a junior championship, so we like to keep the principles, spirit of the game applicable in the chat column as well. US already lined up in front of their end zone. We see their coach with that walkie-talkie attached to her ear as she'll be receiving instructions or pointers from the rest of the US staff surrounding the field, examining the game from different angles. Here is the French contingent. Under 20 women coming out in white, just as their male or open counterparts in the previous final. Last game of this tournament is seeing some muddy conditions. The open final started with some light rain that turned into heavy, heavy drops throughout the matchup. Now it has calmed down once more. There's little to no wind.
It has come down a little bit. It's still really foggy and kind of weird conditions, I gotta say, but nothing that will stop both of these sides to give us an emphatic game as France start with the poll.
None other than Chloe Hakimi with the pickup on this US line. She's been incredible for this US O-line. Youngest player on this US team.
16 years of age.
Still eligible for the under-17 division. But Rachel Chang might have to get the disc back due to a pick call. We see Bertrand on the mark. She's had herself a heck of a semi-final. Big grab by Friedman on the far sideline. One of the lefties on this US team. Great layout save by Leah Schwartz in the middle. They get an upline gainer through the break side and look for the reset once more. Inside channel. US knocking on the doorstep. Patient to find the upline continuation. Maroon. Once more backwards to Friedman. Looks like the US will be looking for a front of the stack isolation in the end zone. But for now, losing yards. And another pick call potentially stopping the play.
Good spacing from the US. Tight windows. But they haven't really managed to get it that distance to the end zone yet.
Chang takes the reset once more. So much defensive pressure from Blanc. Looks like France come out in a power line here, as we will see a lot of these players cross over to the French O-line. And here's the first turnover of the game. French mimicking their open counterparts.
Defensive pressure from the French eventually pays off, and they are off to the races to secure a break in this first point.
Petitbon centering to Lacoste. Perez now activates the reset. And that throw a little behind for Petitbon. One more chance for the US. Rachel Chang sporting that green visor picks up and is clear in what she wants. It's that inside channel, but the disc is slippery. Lacoste Lefebvre, red tape on her knee, finds Blanc. Blanc rips a forehand flick into the end zone, but no chance for the receiver. It sails out of bounds early.
We've seen time and time again during this week, this corner really hard to hit, but so many teams and so many players have tried to get a flick out into this coffin corner, as you called it during that week. This really doesn't connect quite often, and France get it back. Oh no, the US of course getting it back here one more time.
It has been a long week for us here in the commentary booth. This is our 8th day of streaming. We started off last Saturday with the opening game in the under-20 women's division, and we're finishing off with the under-20s final. Chang looking for options, gets it off the sideline to Schwartz. And an overthrow on the swing. France with a third chance to break in this first point of the game.
I gotta say, Rachel, this looks a lot like the opening we had in the France and US matchups on the men's side.
Bertrand. Don't be fooled by her short frame. She's a heck of a receiver downfield, always reading the throws perfectly. But that one, unfortunately, does not connect. Almost 5 minutes after the buzzer for the start of the game went. Another interception by the French. Bertrand goes backwards to Petitbon.
That disc seems to be really wet.
Roulette does not unleash her cannon of a forehand just yet. Blanc. He's looking through the break side, steps around, but that one once more out of reach. This is the first time that the fields have been this slippery, and Hakimi gets overexcited on that deep put. No one there. I'm gonna borrow an expression that I've heard from someone else in the commentary booth. Hakimi playing with her imaginary friends downfield.
What a good way to say that. Just a miscommunication for the US this time. No one looking for the deep shot on the receiving end, and France get another chance here to break for this first point.
Perez gets off the far sideline. Petitbon finds Blanc for the big swing. A timeout called, and the players agree on the stall count.
Good call about this timeout. I really like the idea from the French side to get a breather in, take a second to restructure, to find your flow again. And as the players are taking a breather, so are we, and we will be back with you in a second.
We're coming back after the first timeout of this under-20 women's final. The U.S. taking on France. 8 minutes, or 9 minutes actually, into this game. We started off with a rather turnover-filled first point.
Yeah, we did. If I have counted correctly, it's 5 turnovers out of the U.S. start. Bit of shaky hands. Rather unusual for this steady U.S. all-star team. But the French, now with possession, have managed to secure the disc on their side, and they are looking to punch it in for the first break of the game.
Rollet goes through the open side to Blanc, who immediately goes to Lacoste for the centering pass. Blanc gets the disc in front of the end zone. She's getting every other for this French possession. Rollet, the creative thrower, unwinds for Blanc. And this will not be the curse of the turnout. France to break early. They go up 1-0 over the United States.
Leroy with the grab for the first goal. She has been playing for 7 years, and guess what? Her dad is also playing, and I think her dad is actually running the French stream right next door to our commentary booth. So we really appreciate all of you joining us here, but if you enjoy the French language a little more or aren't really safe in understanding English, you can also jump over to the French YouTube stream. You can find it on the WFDF webpage, just as a webpage, of course, YouTube page, as of course as this one. And this game starts, as we predicted a little bit, the same way the under-20 Open final started, with a break in favor of the French side.
So if you were paying attention during this middle in-between points break, you might have caught a glimpse of our French colleagues sitting right next to us. But the lens of the camera turns once more to the pitch as the French prepare to pull once more, and the United States find themselves on offense. Han. And a huge layout D. Blanc gets flying and earns the disc once more for the French. They have a short field to go. Can they keep their composure? Wobble on the disc.
Red zone opportunity for the French as they go off to the races and lose meters now.
Petitbon. Sideways layout bid from Davis. Not quite there. Perez. Fakes. Not too many opportunities. Goes down the line. Once more, Blanc. And an out of bounds called from the US players.
Davis calling that she was out, and we will get a replay here.
The players do not have the advantage of having game advisors at this game, so they have to rely on their own perspectives. They can ask the perspective of the sideline. They might even sneak a look at our screen, which is available here in the commentary booth with the replays. And here's the slow-mo for your convenience. If you do have a clear opinion about this play, just say it to the person next to you or put it in your club chat. We would love to keep the YouTube chat only for the purpose of passing on greetings, encouraging the players, commending them on their plays, just so they can go back, watch this game, and feel good about it all the way. The out of bounds call will be accepted, and a redemption chance for the Americans. Great break side throw down the line. They have a continuation. Players underneath. Ripped down out of the air by the US. Bear with the catch. And the US continue into the end zone. First score, Lauren Gaudu finds herself open in the end zone. United States are tied at 1 with France.
Great stuff out of the US. And a goal for Lauren Gaudu. Has been playing for 10 years already. She's out of the Seattle area. Pot for loads of talent. And she has some impressive club experience under her belt. She's played with Riot in 2021 and 2022. And she has been placed 6th at Club Nationals. Riot also attending the World Ultimate Club Championship.
Here's that high grab from Bear, who goes for the easy lefty follow-up pass, and that was Gelfand with the assist for Gaudu, who waves the disc happily in the air. So we're off to a slow, like what a D there. Sure to make the highlights for Blanc.
Blanc, whose shirt might not be as white as her name by the end of this match.
Blanc.
Maybe even the start of it.
Blanc, of course, meaning white in French. Pull all the way into the French end zone. Lacoste through the break side to Blanc. All players looking pretty pumped up for this World Championship final. Petitbon has that forehand ready. Finds Leproux. The French know better than to continue down the sideline and swing it wide. Roulet unleashes into the end zone, and who else to collect that disc but her favorite target, Juliette Bertrand, has scored about 1,000 goals in the semifinal, and here she is making her name for herself in the end zone once more for the French team.
It definitely felt like it. Bertrand has only been playing for 2 years, and she is an offensive cutter. We should look for explosivity, and we've definitely seen that out of her. She's not super tall, but makes it up with great positioning and great speed. Big shot out of Rollet.
She unleashes once more, and despite that defensive bid, which came last second from Abby Gilach, it is Bertrand who puts another one to her impressive stats.
Big pull out of the French side. Lands just about the end zone mark.
The US center to Chang and continue to Hakimi, who winds up for the backhand ripper. Back of the end zone, wobbled, but caught on the second try. Caroline Stone, who's been almost a counterpart to Bertrand, also so big in the US end zone. Easy score for the Americans, tying at 2.
What I like about this American team is that it really seems like a team of all-stars. We've seen Hakimi in the handler set quite a bit, but now she is the person to get that opening, cut in, and go big on that huck. We see that bobble once again, bobble but caught for the US side.
What I like about that play from Hakimi is she had an errant throw in the first point, which was a deep shot. And here she is, putting another courageous one out there. So clearly able to forget about any mistakes immediately and just continues to do what she does best, which is to show off her handling skills. Wonderful to see the mental toughness in these young players so early in their career.
So I've talked to one of the parents of one of the players yesterday, and they said that every single one of those players is a standout in their home team. Everyone is the O-line central handler. So this team showcases everything else that they do besides O-line handling for their home teams. They're not used to be a D-line player. They're not used to be a deep target, really. But they are pushed into positions here and showcase what they have learned over the week, the connections they have built, all coming together in this final here.
So here are the French. It's looking like match D so far from the Americans. Lacoste is looking for options, but there's pressure from the Americans. You'll get an instant replay. Great run through D. Gelfand takes it from the sideline. Immediately goes towards the center of the pitch, but Blanc says no. Gets the D straight off the first pass, back for France. Rollet, this time with a forehand put towards the end zone. Again, this one will leave the inside of the field early. They tried to bring it back, they tried to tow it in. Heroic effort, but a turnover once more.
So that disc actually never found its way inbounds, and
that being the reason that the US will walk it down the near sideline. And they try to respond with a deep shot of their own. They aim for the end zone, but this one overshot for Davis. Davis out of Cedar Hills. Her career highlights so far being making this US national team. Up the line to Lacoste. Petitbon, sporting that high braid, recognizes the poaches and finds Lacoste once more. Oh, sorry, Perez to Blanc. Blanc steps around, wobble from Rollet, but swings it wide. Petitbon on the far side of the pitch. Seems like the US will put a little bit of a poach into the open side. Happy for France to take the resets backwards. Pick stops the play.
What this poach creates is the possibility of players to get in the way of each other. See that high grab out of Petitbon one more time. Disc will go back into the hands of the French player, and disc and game will resume.
Nissen, the lefty, finds Petitbon in the open side. Continuation. Rollet, so far unable to show off her big puts into the end zone in this game. Violation as the players move a bit sooner before the disc gets tapped into play. High release for the reset. Nissen with that lefty advantage. She's gonna use it. Forehand to the far sideline. Once more, big bid by Blanc, but this time that athletic layout will not help to save possession for France. She misses that by a few centimeters only. And the US take it from the corner. Rip it forehand. Receivers underneath. Birdsong comes down with it. Gelfand fakes big. There was a tip on that throw by the mark, and France going the other way. Rollet holsters her deep throw. That one run expertly down by Lacoste, and she unleashes back of the end zone. Perez for the score for France. They finally reel it in.
What a messy point again out of both teams. Some missed matchups on defense create open space for both sides. Here in the end, France gets the better of them with a beautiful put into the end zone. And the player was wide open, but it's really hard sometimes to put that disc into a position where this player can catch it comfortably, not go too far, not go in front of the end zone. So very good composure there from the French side. We see some highlights of that point again. That high grab by Leblanc, Petitbon. Big layout.
That was the missed bid by Blanc. And here the tip on the mark and a good heads-up interception by Bergamaschi. And here's the rundown from Lacoste. So US tightening the screws, forcing a couple of turnovers out of this French O-line. But France hold their ground. Still one break up over the United States. 25 minutes into this under-20 women's final of the World Junior Ultimate Championship. Schwartz finds Chang. Chang looking to respond with a big deep shot, jumped into the end zone. Friedman with the score, and it looks like there will be a call, and the call being that Friedman did not quite get both of her feet in bounds. We'll see if we will get a better view second time around.
Big put, a high release put here. And she gets that disc and jumps in. My opinion doesn't matter. They'll talk about it They have the replay on the screen if they want to look at it.
In any case, that put... Did it go through the break side? It might have. In the
Both
meantime, coaches from both sides agree that this will be called inside of the end zone, meaning a point.
A point for the US. And I do believe that the French defense adjusted to the two big hucks coming up from the US side with a straight up mark. So where this put really wasn't directly break side, it's even harder to execute a good deep shot when you have a straight up mark trying to really take away all the long options and push you towards the sides.
And Chang really making sure she raises that arm up as the disc leaves her hand. And the US making sure they stay tight. A very, very similar story as the Under-20 Open final. The French went up one break straight off of the first point, kept the game tight, and then the US just took off and took half, 8-6. And the French, despite putting on their best players over and over again, couldn't quite make it as tight of a matchup as they might have planned for.
But the game is spectacular, and I really advise you to watch it back, as we saw everything left on the pitch by the young players. Petitbon into Nissen. Nissen actually, I heard, went to the US tryouts, did not get selected, and that disc over the head and gives that disc back to the US for possession and an opportunity to get their break back.
That forehand with a little bit too much energy on, as Mia Beeman-Weber picks up on the sideline. She finally finds Harper Bear. Smith looks for the reset and a wobble on the disc. One more chance for the French. Nissen for a short continuation to Rollet. Blanc now with the centering pass, and Emma Smith gets redemption. Second chance for the Americans to take the break back. Beeman-Weber walking to the disc while shouting instructions on the potential set plays. Oh, and a collision on the mark. I think it was a foul called. But they both seem okay. I think Blanc took a hit in the chin there, in her jaw. And they'll have a little discussion about what happens to the stall count. Seem to agree quickly. Bear. Lefty forehand up the line. Beeman-Weber. High release into the end zone. It's going to be run down. The Americans break for the first time in this game and bring us back on serve.
4-3 in favor of the American side now. And another pressure point of defense from the US side. France put all their fight into it. Blanc even taking a hit to the shin there to try and put up an intense mark, but the US here show good structure. As we see them coach look that side, a daring flick, and she was really close to that and really close to our camera as well.
Here's that turnover on the first break chance for the US. And here's the second one.
A run through D by Emma Smith, who is from Vienna. Oh, not Vienna, Austria, I guess.
Probably not.
It says from Shandong, China, and Vienna, VA. Just got a little too excited there.
Indeed. The international side of these US teams is always interesting to follow. We've been getting a lot of mixed nationalities here on the pitch. One where all the streaming action was brought to you from France to Lacoste. A miscommunication. Betty Bon thinking there was somebody behind her that pass was intended for. Once more, US progressing quickly towards the end zone. Gelfand calms things down. She activates the reset. Collection by Hahn. Hahn finds an open receiver.
And that is another break for the US side. They're up 2 breaks now. A clinical red zone set there by the US, and Hahn with that put into the end zone.
For Gelfand, I believe.
All hugs and smiles for the US side. Do we see that collection here for the defense? Gelfand with a high release snag. Hahn knocking on the doorstep here. Big fakes, but finds an easy target on the open side.
I'm sorry, that was Marin Cohen making her making a name for herself in this under-20 women's final. 32 minutes into this game,
and the US are up by 2. It's been a very clean rather game. Both sides holding for most of it. And now the US have taken a bit of a lead, but nothing France can't come back from. They're just waiting to attack. And this, I want to say, this weather really invites you to dive around on the pitch.
The grass here at Pola Marsova indeed quite wet and slippery, but the pitch is holding up very well. Don't be fooled, this is not the usual weather here for Wrocław. We've had wonderful sunny days all week long. This is the first time that we have seen rain at this tournament, but currently it has completely calmed down, and the players have butt themselves and their opponents to fight against.
Big disc goes up, and a miscommunication will again give the disc to the US side.
That is unfortunate for the French. That was a great opening throw over several players. Davis on the far sideline. Russell now going into Birdsong. They get the reset off, are still forced to that far sideline. A little bit of poaching from Lacoste, but she recovers. And a timeout call on a stall 7. Spicy.
That is an interesting call, but the coach just near the player on the sideline instructed her to do so. I know it is a bit of an interesting call, but on the other hand, it's a third opportunity of a break from the US side, and that might just be really expensive. And they want to make sure to set up an isolation or set up something spicy.
So as the teams huddle up, we're going to take a short break in the commentary booth. Checking out for now.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with UltiTV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Second timeout of the first half is over here at field number 1. Under 20 women's final underway. The US with a chance to break for the third time in this first half. They put up a floaty put into the end zone, but it is weighted perfectly. That's a score for Sydney Mannion. What a set play. And what a good use of the timeout on that high stall situation from the US.
I really love the structure of it. They put up a vertical stack setup, let France clam it around, so trying to poach off of some of the people standing there set up. But I'm pretty sure they would always wanted to hit the back of the end zone. That is sometimes not protected as well as the front cone, and as you said, Rachel, the conditions are still, and there's no reason that shot shouldn't connect, and that put was just perfection as the US take the field on defense another time. Here, some last-minute instructions by their coach.
So the US really taking France on a stroll here. Bit of shaky hands out of the French. They've been looking so energetic and enthusiastic at the start of the game. Some big plays out of Blanc. Solid handling from their usual handler set of Rollet, Petitbon, Lacoste. But now France with a little bit of pressure of having to score and keep scoring and then try to steal some of the breaks back. Still in this first half. The pull goes up from Beeman Weber.
They have had great pulls so far. This one, unfortunately, sailing out the side and will be collected in the brick mark. On the other hand, the US has enough time to really set up.
Sometimes difficult to say whether that was done on purpose, because going from a sort of static position can sometimes be difficult than when the pull is actually reeled in immediately. This is good flow out of France. High release through the break side to Blanc. Big fakes. Lacoste will be looking to open up the play. She's got Blanc striking up line. Continuation into the end zone. Acres of space, or shall I say meters. Lila Petitbon with her first score in this final.
There was a clinical point by France, exactly what they needed here, and now to stop the roll of the US, the momentum, and get a point on the board. What a beautiful cut by Petitbon to put it into, Blanc to put it into Petitbon. She goes up the line and then gets it on so much space to put it into Petitbon for the score.
Petitbon has been playing for about 6 years She discovered ultimate in college and immediately liked it. I think by college she means college, which would be actually high school. For the French. Has been playing for the Le Mans team. And her sporting hero is Rafael Nadal because of his perseverance, which is what she believes differentiates him from the other athletes.
Rafael Nadal is a very impressive sports person, sport role model.
He does get a bit loud sometimes. That's, I think, why some people prefer Roger Federer.
Both of them gentlemen of the sport tennis, if you're not familiar with the sporting world.
Because we only have ultimate fans in the chat and watching our streaming. If you've been liking the streaming action, you might have seen during the timeout that Ulti TV is your go-to crew for free streaming. We've been live at the WFDF YouTube for the under 20 category, but if you would like to go back and rewatch some of the under 20s, under 17 matchups, they're over at the ulti.tv YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe. Hit us up on social media, our tag being ulti.tv on most of them. You can also visit our Patreon page if you would like to throw some money on and helping the spread of Ultimate Frisbee coverage for as little as the price of a coffee a month. You can help us deliver more free content from the world of Ultimate Frisbee, the best sport in the world, to as many people as possible. It's looking like the teams are ready to go. The US 2 points away from the halftime point score, which is at 8.
France will make that run towards this halftime score. Closer and closer and harder, and as hard as possible for the US side. But they are off to the races on offense here.
And the French trying to startle the US with a zony look once more, we see. And they do so as there is...
We see little pressure from the handler set, but just enough to cause quick swinging that'll not connect for the US side, and France with a chance to get their break back, one of them.
Nissen with that lefty flick, but intercepted. Rachel Chang tries to respond quickly with that deep shot. She does. She finds Friedman despite the defensive pressure of 2 French defenders. They recollect themselves down in the end zone. Managed to put the mark on Friedman in the red zone. Thinks about the reset. No one there. She pops it in for the score. Maggie Brown. France holds, US holds.
Maggie Brown also out of the Seattle area. We should look for speed. We saw some speed there. Also, good recognition of the open space in that situation there. She has also had some great club experience. Her career highlight is winning Pioneer Valley Invitational, the largest high school tournament in the country, in 2019 with her high school team. And she was only a freshman there, but already winning. Good for you. So she has some finals experience under her belt. We can see her not being shaken by the pressure here. So you see that good interception and big put
by Chang. And Brown would like to take the opportunity to say hi to her teammates on Seattle Underground. We hope that you managed to stay up late enough to watch this great final. So the US find themselves within 1, and if they can break on this next one, they'll be taking the half. France was able to generate the turnover in the last point, but unfortunately not able to capitalize just yet. Here is the French O-line getting ready to roll.
Arcing pull goes up by the US. They're looking to break here. Verhoeven and France is going to do everything they can to prevent that from happening.
We see a bit of a turnover on the French line, seeing some new faces on the field, but this one is a familiar one, Blanc. Centering pass. And another miscommunication.
Lauren Gadou with the back defense. Didn't really know her luck until that disc hit her back instead of a French receiver, and USA off to the races to get a break for half.
Gelfand goes backwards. Now they get a gainer to Davis. Davis continues up the line. Gadou. Russell. US still on that near sideline. Bear centers. One more up line to Hahn. We'll go for the reset once more. Gadou steps around and wobble on the last pass, just out of reach. Gelfand puts that in, but Bear unable to hold on.
I was just going to command the US on good structure and great offense here after the turn, being really calm about it, but just the disc put out too far in front for the US receiver, gives the disc back to the French. Blanc goes low.
One more chance for the French. They need to reel this one in if they want to stay in the half. They have a deep receiver completely open. They get that leading pass off. No continuation so far. Still running to be done. Now they swing it wide. Bautran finds Soran. A pick call stops the play. Tap back into play. High release towards the center of the pitch. That's nice. Delaire. Rip into the end zone. And this time Bertrand will not get a chance to get that disc. US say no, and it is Bella Russell who gets a hand on that, and is immediately signaling what is about to happen on this offensive possession for the American D-line.
US with a hose stack and a big put out in front for the US receiver to come up with it.
Blanc was making up the ground quickly, but couldn't quite get there. One more chance for US to take the half. Hahn winds up, looks for the reset. Continuation to Gelfand. Gelfand into the end zone for Abigail Davis. This is not the first goal in this final for her, and she's going to be so happy to bring this half home for the Americans.
That spacing was again very well from this American side. Go with the huck immediately, and this is something they have done so well this first half, just getting off those big shots, using the fact that there is no wind on the field whatsoever. And here we see Hahn moving her mark around and get that pop pass in, and then the score for a break. And that's half in favor of the USA. They lead 8-4.
And we have Mr. Kropa tuning in the chat, and he is the sporting hero of Abigail Davis, so we're going to give a little shout out. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but honestly, it is a very Czech word, and if you were wondering what it means hail in Czech, so, and it's pronounced Kropa. So whatever the American pronunciation is, you can enlighten me in the chat. Great to see Davis coming back from 2 concussions, a back injury, a knee injury, a shoulder injury. yet still through to help her friends and family. Yet still through to make this to this U.S. team with the help of her friends and family. Thank you so much for tuning in into this under-20 women's final. We will be back with the other half in about 5 minutes of a break. For now, we're checking out.
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finney, he's done it.
Meistering immediately launches it deep, got the shot down. No! Don't you dare do this! Finney!
Oh my God!
Who let you move to Europe? This is disgraceful behaviour. I didn't realise you had a check doppelganger. Don't you look at the camera like you know what you did.
The receiver
honestly
had no chance to actually check his feet. Seems like everyone will agree.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member
and fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Right now,
he's gonna have to bid. Just a
football! Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from here.
Welcome back to the second half of action from this under-20 Women's World Junior Ultimate Championship final. Behind the mic, Rachel Toshnerova together with Kristina Obermeier. Kristina, can you sum up the first half for us?
It's been a crazy first half. France started out great with a break in the US, over the US, but they have crawled their way back in. They traded for a bit until it was 3-3, and then USA off to the races, making 6-3. They traded for another bit, and then the US broke for half to make it 8-4, and now France will receive to start this second half on offense. We are currently 58 minutes in this game,
meaning that we have about 40 minutes left of regulation time. The under 20 category here at this tournament playing 100-minute games. But just like their open division counterparts, I believe this US team is more than ready to finish this game early. A pull comes out of the hands of Gelfand. France with what might be the most important offensive hold of this game, Petitbon. Blanc has been keeping the energy up for this French team. Several poaches downfield. The US really forcing the French to go short. Here is the inside put to Blanc. Last third of the field for the French. Happy to take the around. Lacoste winds up for that forehand. In front of the end zone is Petitbon. And she gets an open pass in the back of the end zone towards the back corner. That is Perrine Berthaudot with the score for France. And they come out strong in the second half with a clean hold.
Big layout pressure there from the US side, but really nothing they can do to prevent that disc flying into the hands of the French player there. Beautiful offensive hold, as you said, Rachel. Blanc, again, doing some of the heavy lifting for that side. French side. Yeah, just had a quick chat, and we're agreeing on how great this young player was working for this French side. Not just during this final here, but over the course of the whole week. She has been a standout. Also one of the captains, I believe.
So if we have a look at the scoreboard leaders for the stats, we will not find too many. We will find 0 US players, proving that they have an even spread of assists and goals among their squad. But we will find 1 French player on the board, Salomé Rollet, with 27 totals, out of that 21 being assists.
And a break chance for France. Quick replay here.
That wobbly disc just a little behind.
Yeah, came out of the hands a little wrong, and France with a red zone opportunity.
Blanc goes for the big swing, but US defense makes sure there's no second chance on that. Maggie Brown gets big. Hakimi with the disc in her hands once more. Schwartz working with Hakimi and Chang in the handling space. Good flow, swinging the disc. They get a gainer to Maroon. Slicing and dicing through the French zone. And there is the score. Maggie Brown gets the bookends. She gets the double happiness. Not something anyone can say about doing in a big game like this. We are, after all, playing for the title of a World Junior Champion. The US keep their lead.
They do, and they do it in stride. Loads of pressure, but in the end, they can run through it, finding some puts in the middle to get that disc into the end zone.
(9-5), a 4-point difference, but the US sideline still shouting for more. French players with a mountain to climb, as they'll be looking to cause a big upset in the under-20 women's division. It wouldn't be a first one in this tournament. We've seen some great games, including universe points in this tournament.
Indeed, we have had some close games and some contested games as well. We streamed the whole week for you, and you can still watch all of this all of the games back, as well as this game here. After it has concluded, it will be free for you on demand to watch however many times you want.
And we will have some results from you from the other divisions, so stay tuned. After this point, France to receive and centering to Lacoste. Sliding grab for France to keep possession is Leproux. Lacoste has the disc once more, continues once more to Leproux. Centering to Sorin. The US sticking to match D. Leproux pinned to the sideline. They get off the up line, no continuation for Nissen just yet, a pick call.
So many players running around that disc.
But Blanc can take a hit. We've seen it time and time again on the pitch. Her white headband getting muddy. And here is the score. Babican puts a first one to her stats in this women's final. France with a hold.
Babakian, one player of the rather well-known club Yaka, Noisy-le-Sec.
No surprise, our ultimate sporting hero is Aline Rastamundio, one of her teammates on this Yaka club, making an appearance at WCC this year. Mondio herself being, of course, one of the steady handlers also for the national team at World Games earlier this year in Birmingham, Alabama.
She did really put up a brilliant performance and has been a standout in the European scene for years. Great to see that young players like Babakian can make their debut here on this national team and put in the work for not only Yaka but also their national side. She is very well known for her speed and for her way to attack discs in the end zone. I remember her doing that quite a bit in previous runs of Yaka.
France, knowing that the pressure is on in the second half, knowing that it's time to start getting some of those breaks back. If they want to make this a tight game, they bring out their strongest 7 defenders. We see Petitbon out there once more. Blanc not taking a break either. Lacoste will be setting the mark, it seems like. Bertrand on the wing. Hakimi going for the quick give and goes.
France again with their zone setup that has pushed the handling side of the US time and time again during this game. Not loads of pressures from the handler set, but trying to prevent everything in further than a few passes laterally.
Friedman trying to sneak up behind that first cup, causing Petitbon to having to turn around a lot more than she would prefer to. Maroon doing the same behind the second cup, making a nuisance out of herself for the wings, and Blanc in the deep space. Chang goes to Hakimi. Hakimi with one of her signature breakthrows towards the far sideline. Friedman, who's having quite a game in this final, thinks about the over-the-top throw, decides against it. Stone to Hakimi. And here is the opener, collected safely by Bella Russell.
On tight here from the French side. They've completely changed field position now, the US. And they're off to the races. Big grab.
Chang continues down the sideline. Fina pops it into the end zone, and Chang, the handler, with a score, taking the United States into the double digits. 10-6, they lead over France.
Great patient play. We see a replay on this one. Big gainer just in front of the end zone now. Puts that disc into the safe hands of Chang.
Rachel Chang, coming out of Palo Alto, California, says she feels really supported by the players on her girls team, Heartbreak Ultimate. It's been playing only for 4 years, and here she is, one of the main O-line handlers for the US. Her sporting hero is Eliza Chang, who she owes her ultimate career to, because she's been an amazing coach to her, encouraging her to continue playing. Some very proud coaches at this tournament.
The US now ready to pull. France getting some late-minute instructions by the coach. They have been trading in this second half.
And as promised, we have some results from the other categories. So if you don't like to be spoiled, just cover your ears for a bit or hit that mute button. In the under-17 open division, Italy took the gold over France in a heated and highly contested final. Swiss taking the bronze in the under-17 women's division. Italy took the gold also over France, and Germany taking the third spot. But back to the action on the field. More on the results later. France swinging it wide, and US trying to slow them down with a bit of a zoney look.
Yeah, looks like they're poaching off, or an actual zone look there, with a fence of 3 people, 2 people behind and then 2 in the backfield, trying to stop any motion from the fronts besides the handlers. And there you go, miscommunications. Didn't really look at the receiver there as she threw that disc, and the US with Mia Beeman-Weber to pick up.
They go through the open side straight for the end zone. It hits the turf, unfortunately. Luckily for France, one more chance on this point. And they're moving quickly. US a little late to catch up and set up. Maybe a bit of confusion whether they'll be continuing with the zone, but there is Blanc making herself go horizontal once more in front of the end zone.
She's looking for an easy option back and finds one. Not yet. There goes with big hammer over the top.
She wants to be aggressive. She is aggressive, and it pays off. 26 the number. Erel Perez with the score for France. What a play by Blanc.
She faked me out there. Blanc with a big layout put. So you see the replay on that one. Nissen makes her layout just in front of the end zone. She jumps up, fakes.
Look at Blanc keeping her composure. She doesn't want that reset. She says, come on guys, we gotta go for the end zone.
See, I really thought she would get that reset off. and want to score it as well, but she shows that she's not only this catching machine, but also can put it up with that beautiful hammer. So I never actually finished my point about Margot Nissen, who initially tried out for the US team and for some reason didn't get selected there, but then she tried out for the French side and got a spot on the French team, and now she is playing in the final against that US side.
Some of the Americans making good use, sorry, not the Americans, some of the players making good use of their dual citizenships. It always is great when you have a chance to try out for more than one national team, sort of travel around, get your Frisbee skills diversely improved by different styles of play. As the pull lands out of bounds, Rachel Chang walks the disc to the brick mark, and it's looking like some switches downfield, but no, it is once more that French zone. This time it will be Bertrand who's gonna put on the mark. Big swings. Chang goes sideways to Stone, who attacks the disc. Hakimi through the middle to Maroon. Schwartz gets the swing. So the French zone slowing the Americans down, but not quite generating the turnovers that are a prerequisite to potential breaks.
Wind picking up again now a little bit, making it all a little bit harder to get some of those throws off, but
I think the pitches here at Wrocław really putting the junior players to the test. We've had heat, we've had humidity, we've had rain, and we've had wind. The US still keeping possession. Big fakes out of the handlers, trying to move the cup. Maggie Brown gets the disc on this near sideline. Big swing, Betty Bon tries to get high, but Hakimi comes down with it. Chang.
Big throw out of Schwartz. She got a little lucky there.
Friedman. Give and go with Hakimi. Chang threatening to go through the first cup, swings to Hakimi instead. The US knock it on the doorstep. High release over the cup. Schwartz. Stone. Patience from the Americans.
Interesting that they don't choose to transition to matchup, but stay with that zone, even in the red zone, just in front of the end zone of the Americans.
Loving that look. Chang tries to steal every extra centimeter, hoping that the jump in is close. And a call stops the play. I can't imagine it could be anything else but a bit of contact on the mark, or else some double team maybe, not adjusted to Chang's liking. Nonetheless, disc gets tapped back into play. They go for the Blady swing. Saved last second by Stone. And I think a potential down call.
No, I think just the disc is a bit, well, broken, maybe.
That might also be the case. The players just potentially looking for an exchange of the disc, but looks like Stone will tap it back into play under the WFDF rules. If you have a defender close enough, it should be them who tap in the disc, but doesn't make any difference. Chloe Hakimi raises her arms up, catches that point. US once more with a clean hold. Slowed down significantly by the French, but no turnover in sight.
Look at that big grab by Hakimi. Schwartz really has a great receiver in Hakimi. So tapping in that disc on the ground. Not quite the thing we do in the WFDF rules, but works anyway. And another daring shot, and Hakimi has to go big again. You know, I love those shots out of Schwartz, and I hope she gets permission to put those out here from the US side. On the other hand, you know, with the wet disc and the conditions here, those shots are very, very daring.
But we tend to forget that Hakimi has a 2nd-degree black belt in karate. So she knows something about quick reactions.
Oh, she does indeed. She's showcased it time and time again.
And she's making Kelly Johnson, one of her first coaches for her high school team, very, very proud.
Oh, I bet.
Another Seattle native on this US team. Of course, the Seattle area being known for not just their strong club scene, but also well-organized and developed youth programs. French once more, having to put all their focus into the next offensive point. Nissen to Blanc. Low grab, but saved by Bergamaschi. Blanc forced to bid, but it is Abigail Davis who gets a finger on that. A bit of contact, but no call.
Double layout here.
Gelfand to pick up. Goes immediately for the continuation into the end zone. Second effort chance, and that's a grab and another bookends for the US. Davis puts her body on the ground. Another break for the US. They are 12-7 over the French women.
You can see those signs of the two hands turn out, put on top of your head. That's a sign for bookends as the whole Team USA recognizes the incredible play Abigail Davis did offensively and defensively before that. Look at that. I don't think she was the intended target, but she ends up with the disc regardless.
Here is the, hard to tell if that was a break side throw or not. I think the intended receiver there was Bella Russell, but great awareness to double check that, follow that all the way through and get it on the second chance. So France trailing by 5, US fans in the stands getting excited that the rain is gone once more and they get to enjoy this women's final.
I don't know if they're just excited about the rain being gone. I think they're especially excited about how big of a margin the US is leading over France. But it's not over yet. It's far from over, actually. We've seen crazier things happen. We've seen crazy comebacks. For example, the semi-final yesterday where Canada was up over France, and then France on the men's side, of course, came back.
France receive once more. And unfortunately turn on the first pass. Beeman Weber to pick up for the US. Lefty backhand down the line to Gilach. Changing the angle of attack is the US. But as two receivers aim for the same space, the disc is wobbled and ends up on the ground.
A bit of lack of communication there from the US side, gives the disc back into the hands of France.
Nissen this time connects with her teammate downfield. Delamotte gives the disc back to her. Wide grab, Héroard. Finding Bardin, and Bardin continuing back to Héroard along this near sideline. France finally finding some flow. They go through the break side. Clean offensive hold. Emma Héroard with her first score of the game. Another child of some ultimate parents. An important offensive hold for the French, who will now have to continue to focus on defense and really need to put their foot on the gas.
Yeah, they do, and they will not give up without a huge fight. And we've seen them there get that disc back and punch it in with beautiful offensive flow, putting it into great space, knowing that no receiver besides Ewa can get there.
So we still are due a few results from the other divisions. Again, hit that mute button if you don't want to be spoiled. Hungary taking the win in both the under 17 mixed and under 20 mixed category. In the under 17 division, Italy took silver, Belgium bronze, and the under 20s, Swiss got the second place and Swedes the third. Back to the under 20 women's final. A centering pass and a set play from Chang, who unleashes for the end zone. Big forehand. Unfortunately unable to connect with the receiver.
This time around, the US does not get off with one of their deep shots. They have been clinical with those so far, but now France with an opportunity to break.
And they overturn on the first pass once more. That is so unfortunate, because this American team will not be giving them that many chances and opportunities to come back into this game. Friedman has it in the middle of the pitch, immediately strikes for the up line, but Schwartz goes for the put to Chang. A little bit of Huckendee out of the US might as well do the job too. Hakimi winds up for the end zone. Friedman just going crazy in the end zone for the Americans. 12-8 the score, the Americans. 13-8 the score. The Americans find themselves within 2 of hitting the hard cap.
France going with some force middle defense to stop the continuations from one side to the other. They managed that well, but instead they just go from one side to the middle and back to the side, back to the middle. It's like some zigzags. It's also great adjustment from the US side, recognizing the change of force early and taking whatever options the French can't close off.
So the chance for victory slowly slipping away from these French fingers. Again, it looked like a tight game once more at the start of the first half. French even forcing a break straight off the first point. Similar story as with the under 20 open division final. The halftime result, of course, looking a little bit different. The open side keeping it a bit tighter at half. 8-6.
Still nothing is lost yet as we hear some chants of the Marseillaise, the French national anthem, to cheer on this French women's team in the under 20 division.
Barbican goes sideways to Bardin. We're seeing a different French O-line, hoping that they can save some of these players that have been seen on the pitch for most of the first half for some power D, but a turnover gives the disc to the US. Gelfand with a pickup. US hitting an under. Birdsong centers to Wang. And a wobble on the catch.
Good defensive pressure gives the disc back to the French side.
Nissen with a low throw, but saved from the ground by Bourreau. Nissen gets the disc once more. She's gonna open up to Bourreau once more, who turns around, nobody behind her. She's running low on options, a foul call downfield stops the play. I really wonder what the stall count's gonna be here.
Tight defense there. And I do believe that if this foul is accepted, the stall count will go back to 0. If the foul is
made on the offensive player.
So it's an offensive foul. Didn't see that.
Oh, was it?
I thought it was a defensive foul.
Yeah. I think so too, yeah.
So
Nissen
the disc goes off.
Sideways to Meunier. Centering to Babikian. High grab brought down by Nissen. The French making it past the halfway line. Eroad. Another miscommunication. There was an upline cut and a cut coming from the back of the stack, and the US take a timeout.
Bit of a messy point here. Not what we've seen so far from any of those teams in the second half, and they have to find some way throughout those multiple turnover points here.
In any case, we are nearing the last part of this game. The players huddle up once more, and as we take a little bit of a break in the commentary booth, we're going to leave you with some highlights.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Oh, just a
football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed.
Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
Entering the last 10 minutes of regulation time in this under-20 women's final between the US and France. The United States currently up 13-8, and after earning the disc in this last point, they took a timeout to make sure they add another break to their impressive second half record. They rip one into the end zone. And it's the US who read it better once more, but it is wobbled as the receiver hits the ground.
Great grab, but unfortunately, that disc is in French hands once again.
France looking for options on this near sideline, find a great gainer to Nissen, who is really battling it out there. Puts up a floaty forehand, but I don't think that is the direction she was aiming for originally. There was a lot of pressure on that throw. I think she was trying to go crossfield and wide. Good look.
Good idea. Working on the execution still, as also the wind picked up in this exact second, coming towards our commentary booth and towards from the right side of your screen, towards the lower left one.
So one more chance for the U.S. Shout out to Erica Birdsong, number 49 on the U.S. team. Apparently it's her birthday today. But the Americans, for now, stuck deep in their own end zone, put up a floaty bid, knocked down of the air by French defense. Nissen sporting the right-handed glove. Continuation into the end zone, and that's a French hold. Blanche Bardin finds the open space for the continuation. French hold once more.
Bardin out of Clichy. Her father also plays Frisbee, and he initiated her to play Frisbee. That's what it says here in her player survey. And her father is also her sporting hero because of his passion for Ultimate that he gave on to her. What a great family connection. And you know, I love to see that in this juniors levels, we have a second row of players already.
Second generation.
Second generation, thank you. In lack of words here. But also third generation. Can you believe that, Rachel? There's grandfathers inspiring their grandkids to play Ultimate Frisbee. And I thought that sport was only 55 years old.
In any case, we're saying hi to Monsieur Bardin if he is watching, be it from the sidelines on our live stream. US with a chance to go within one of potentially becoming the world champions. The French defense will indeed try to get in the way. Friedman having the best game so far in this tournament, I believe, in this women's final. Brings the disc back into play, winds up the lefty backhand, shoots for the end zone, but defender is underneath. Betty Bon earns that chance for France to what could potentially be a break train for France.
I would love to see that, a big put. And we have seen those shots for the same third of the field on this near side towards our camera not work out quite often, as the disc is always just a bit harder to grab in this coffin corner, as you have named it at the start of the week. France with a big put of their own, putting it up high.
Lacoste was looking for Blanc. Blanc delivers. She continues down the sideline for the break. French stay alive in this game. Perrine Bertraudot with the score.
What a quick point. An offensive hold for an offensive break there. A break, nonetheless, for France here. Bertraudot getting that grab for the French side and closing the score out. Closing the score a little bit closer, getting that score a little bit closer here.
Look at that grab. Keeping her foot in is Blanc. She sees that opportunity early, winds up. That disc weighted perfectly for Bertraudot, who is making her club Magic Disc Angers incredibly proud as she's representing them here at Paul-Aimard-Sauvé. She also played with Le Manchot from Le Mans and with Matt Tomatoes for two very popular tournaments in France, the Yes But No and the ODT. She has been doing athletics for about 8 years and has always liked the vision of the sport of Kevin Mayer, a French decathlon athlete. France now will try to ride the break wave.
Even further than they already have, but the USA is trying to stop the bleeding here.
We are, of course, completely unbiased here in the commentary booth. Despite the fact that we're both European, we're always just cheering for tight games here on the stream. Wobble on the disc, second effort, comes out empty-handed again. Lacoste, quick with the pickup, but not too many teammates offering options downfield. She will be forced to rip it, collected. Great grab by Bertrand. She continues into the end zone. Chang says no.
A huge layout block saves the US from giving up another point to the France. And Juliette Bertrand has been a bit silent this game, but getting big here with the layout grab for the French side. But the US looking to make it within one. What a huge play out of France here. The disc macked out the side.
Was it a hand block? In any case.
Was a block here.
Yeah, definitely a hand block. We couldn't quite see down the sideline. And France to take a timeout, their second one in this half. We have only over a minute left of regulation time, meaning that if the US scores here, it will still be a game to 15. But if France can go up 11, we will be only playing out to the 14-point count. And as the teams huddle up, we'll take a little break here in the commentary booth just to catch our breath and prepare for the last piece of action in this under-20 women's final. Checking out for now. Both of France's timeouts used in the under-20 women's final. What an exciting piece of action. France finally being able to bring some of the breaks back that they have lost early on, not early on, but mostly in the second half. They get one in. Here they are trying to get in another one. We've had few turnovers in this point already, but Lacoste has her eyes ready for the set play. She finds Nissen. Sideways to Blanc. Continuation. Still not too many gainers. France being forced to take the reset.
They are calm here though. Just looking twice about the options they're taking, passing on those discs.
Bertradot through the middle. That's a nice put to Rollet. And we know Rollet can put it anywhere on the field. And she does. High release towards the back of the end zone. That's a score for Nissen. And France riding the comeback wave. They go up 11-13 to the United States. The time is over. And we're playing a game to 14.
What an exciting matchup. So much pressure put on from the US. Doing anything they can not to let that third break, their third point for sure, for the French side connect there, but great vision from Rollet to find Nissen on the far corner, putting a high release backhand up with so much touch into a space where only her intended target can go.
And I think it will be a very similar defensive 7 for the French line. And indeed, it is the exact same line as in the last point.
I wouldn't put it into the hands of anyone else but those players who have really shown their prowess, shown their worth during this final, during the whole week.
And as the French sideline is ready to spend the rest of this match standing up
and screaming around,
we have an exciting end of the game on our hands. Han to receive, and a first potential game point Foot block for the French. They only have the last third of the field. Try to add a third break in a row. Nissen activates the reset. Doesn't have anything. Block to be repeated. Han redeems the mistake.
A foot block now, a hand block. What an exciting end of this gold medal game we have here.
Han doesn't find her receiver, who slips on the ground. Again, the players being met by these difficult conditions. France, can they make it? Can they go within one? Lacoste to Blanc. Blanc into the end zone. Too far for Petitbon. Loving the aggressiveness though for the French side. Trying to make sure that they put the US on their heels. But the US are only playing to 14. Still a few breaks as a buffer. The deep shot doesn't go. They'll look for the reset. Han gets open. The disc slips and is smacked into the ground by Nissen. What a nail biter of a game. Can they reel it in this time? Nissen goes backwards, winds up that lefty foot into the end zone for the score. Lacoste does the impossible for the French. What a comeback. Incredible stuff. I am too excited. I cannot stop screaming. 12-13 currently the score in this under-20 women's final. Christina, hold on.
I am holding on. I am not going anywhere. I love the energy from the French side. The US a bit shaky as we see that incredible foot block. How high did she get that foot there? And Nissen gets hand blocked as well from Han. Low throw, tried to be kept alive, but no chance. And now a slip on the field gives a second opportunity to the French in this point. Overshooting Petitbon and a third opportunity to reel in that last point for the win. Big fake, faked out even the camera, and now Han can't collect it.
So let me remind you, the score was 13-8. We're currently at 13-11. What?
Impressive. It is just impressive. That French side clearly with not as much depth as this US power team, but so much heart and emotion that they put on the field today.
France still needs to break to win this game. Here is Chang. Winds up for the backhand, decides against it. Second potential game point for the US. Hakimi takes the reset, opens up. Collected by Bear. Bear tries to fight Hakimi downfield. Nothing there. Chang once more with an opener. Friedman. Lefty reset to Chang. Continues for the swing. The French opting for match D. They tried to find the leading pass. Stolkamp getting high. They get it off to Russell. Russell with a big gainer to Maroon. Maroon strikes up line once more. Through the break side to Friedman. The US knocking on the doorstep. Reset once more, pressure from Blanc. And I think Blanc landed on the foot of Bella Russell there.
A big bid coming in a little late.
Not the best to see a potential injury, but nothing there. They both get up. Blanc sets the mark. Wide around for Hakimi. Hakimi winds up for the wobbled. It goes out of the hands of the intended receiver. What a huge chance for France.
Hakimi had the open player, goes very low, make sure that disc is put out into space, but it comes out too low, and that is a break opportunity for France, and they're calling for a timeout on the sideline.
And I'm not 100% sure they have one. I think there have been 2 timeouts in this half already for Team France, but they will quickly check with the volunteers. And it seems like I'm wrong.
Might have been just one for the US and one for France. Anyway, they're on the sideline trapped and they are taking a timeout.
Christina, I am at the edge of my seat. What? I have no idea how we found ourselves in this situation, but it will have to be big props to the pressure of the French D and France making sure that they really bring back that energy that their open side tried to do towards the end of the game, but not quite able to generate enough break opportunities to reel that in. Several turnovers in that last point. Wow.
And now the first one in this point, the US really fighting so hard to stay in this game. They played they carried it rather down the field with so much patience, and then in the last second, France pushed them just enough out the side, and we can tie this game here. It's such impressive stuff out of this young French side, and we'll see what the US can do mentally here, as I don't think that anyone has gone on a 4-break run on them this tournament. It is really the business end, and this shows character, this shows strength, especially in a final.
All the abilities of these young athletes being put to the test as the slippery field number 1 at Pola Marsove continues to be the host of this under-20 women's final. We are playing for the title of World Junior Ultimate Champion. France setting out in a vertical stack with Blanc potentially getting isolation in the front of it. 3 handlers around the handler space, and it's looking like a match D from Team US.
Vertical setup with a lot of space in the open side.
Nissen finds Blanc, who continues to roller.
Structured offense by the French as they're walking it down this near sideline.
Lacoste finds Blanc. Blanc now looking for options. She puts it up to the break side into the end zone. Denied. Hahn gets in the way. Will the US take this opportunity to bring this game home? Bear up line to Chang. Chang puts up a big forehand. Players underneath. Hakimi! No karate spike. The US become the World Junior Ultimate Champions in the women's division, just like they did. Hide your ears in the open one. What a game to finish us off at the Joint Junior Ultimate Championship. Excellent grabs. Wonderful defense, so much pressure, heartbreak for the French, glory and celebration for the Americans. 14-12 the final score in the under-20 women's division final.
What a way to finish off this World Junior Ultimate Championship with the women's final. This game seemed to slip away from France for a little bit, but no way, they came back in stride. They even had the chance to even it out, but in the end, the US showing that they have every right to call themselves a powerhouse of ultimate. So we leave you for some replays here. It was an amazing game. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
But do not turn off your computers or YouTube channel just yet. We have a little bit of sidelight fun for you. Benjamin Rees is getting ready to pull some US players for an after-game interview. So make sure to enjoy this tournament until the end. As you might hear in the background, the French contingent gathering around their hero team, the under-20 women's. They circle up around them, singing
some song. I think it is part of the French national anthem, as they have done for all of their 4 teams.
There is the US celebrating.
Yeah, all of their 4 teams in France, again, a couple of years, as Rachel said before, made the final and lost the final, unfortunately. But such great work in the juniors developmental program for the French to get players and teams into the final, and then put up such great fight as well.
And the US, with a little bit of nerves, I think they did get a little bit of a scare towards the end of the game, but they keep their eyes on the prize, and the prize will take the shape of that huge World Championship trophy. Here's that huge layout bit from Blanc one more time. She's been absolutely incredible for the French, both on defense and on offense.
What a way to get horizontal, not even just in a full sprint, but then also running right through it as well. Foot block here as well. Blanc really doing so much for this French side. It is impeccable.
Great showing by both of these teams. Wonderful display of ultimate. We've had some calls in this game. They were all resolved quickly, peacefully, amicably, and efficiently, sometimes using our on-demand replay screen. Celebration dance and jumping in the US huddle. A little bit of tears on the French side as they gather up to do a final spirit circle of this tournament. It will be a last one.
US taking their time to celebrate a well-deserved win. Fans standing around them, giving the team themselves their space, and they're now asking for everyone to join them in celebration. The event photographers making sure they're capturing every moment of this great finish to this under-20 women's final, as well as this tournament. They've been doing loads of work on the sideline all week, and you'll be able to enjoy the fruits of their work very, very soon. But also long after this event has finished. So thank you, United States, thank you, France, for giving us more than what we could have asked for in this last final and last game of this Joint Junior Ultimate Championship. But like we said, don't go away just yet. The players will exchange a round of high fives. The clock is still running, 116 minutes since we started our last game of the tournament. But we have some fun sideline interviews from Team US coming your way. Our partner in crime, Benjamin Rees, preparing in front of Cam 2. Hugs exchanged as well. I believe there's for sure to be some trading of kits eventually. At this point at the tournament, Christina, you can't tell who is coming from where. Yeah, true.
If you look around, there will be players speaking a very different language compared to the jersey that they're wearing. And we will have the US coach ready for the interview on the sideline very soon. But I believe Benji will try to also pull off the newly crowned World Junior Champions in the under 20 women's division. It's looking like 3 of them are coming your way. Lining up is Friedman, Bear, and Hahn for Team USA.
Benjamin Rees here with you on the sidelines. Delighted to be joined by 3 of the successful USA captains. I'll start with Acacia Hahn to my left here. I mean, it's going to be tricky, but can you sum up how that feels?
I think that winning a gold medal is one of the greatest honors in our lifetimes, and it was such a joy to be out here this week playing and representing our country, and I really can't quite describe what it feels like right now other than like pure joy. Yeah.
Pure joy feels an apt way of describing it. I'll go to Elise next. What are some of the challenges you felt in the build-up process to this and here on the fields this week?
I think that a really big challenge that we had as a team was just trusting each other. I mean, we knew about this team in March and we were anticipating playing in August, and so developing that trust that we had for each other was something we really had to overcome, but I think we did it flawlessly and with a lot of grit, and it was just beautiful to see a team become a family by the end of the tournament.
I've seen some of the kind of unusual team bonding techniques that you've employed. Harper, I have to ask about the melodica.
Yeah, so that was just like a stroke of genius from me. I was like, I think we need some music on this team, and I'm going to be the one to bring it. So, yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
I'll let any of you choose to answer this, but that game was a real grind, and it felt like the sort of epic encounter that's befitting of the final. What do you think kind of gave you that little bit of an extra edge?
Yeah, so our team values all week have been love, trust, and grit, and I think that really showed in our game today. Especially towards the end, we were really grinding it out, and I think there was a lot of grit, but mainly there was trust in ourselves. I had no doubt in my teammates every time any 7 people were on the line. I knew we were going to get the job done in the end.
Lovely. One final thing, is there anything that you 3 would like to say to people watching back home on behalf of yourselves and your teammates?
This was for you guys. This was to represent the United States in the best possible way, and I'm just so proud of this team. I'm so proud of Ultimate Frisbee for becoming an elite sport, to see, the growth in the community, and it's just amazing to be a part of such a community at home and also here.
And thank you to everybody back home who supported us and helped us get here and gave us a shot to be here right now winning a gold medal. Thank you so much. We love you.
I won't keep you any longer. Go back and enjoy yourselves and revel in your victory. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Benji. Thank you, Team USA players. What a game it has been. We have a couple of thanks to throw around. We would like to thank the organizers of this wonderful tournament, welcoming us at this venue, Duchgre, Polish Ultimate Players Association, the EUF and WFDF, all the volunteers that have been helping us with keeping the games running in their bright blue shirts all week. Of course, thank you players for making our stream so exciting, giving us all the highlights that we could have asked for. Thank you coaches for volunteering your time and effort to develop the new generation of Ultimate players. Thank you staff for the national teams, making sure that your programs ran smoothly and taking care of all the boring admin work. Thank you fans at home for watching. Thank you fans on the sidelines of being supportive and not getting in the way of our cameras. And last but not least, thank you Ulti TV crew on the cameras and production desk all week. Milan van den Bovenkamp, Joël Ben Joseph, John Doug Doherty, Lucia Pekarova, Sam Duvert, Philip Molnar, and from the commentary booth, Benjamin Rees bringing that British flair, Christina Obermeier were the Germanic vibes, and finally me, Rachel Doshnerova, your ever-returning unprofessional, semi-professional. Thank you for watching, and for the last time, I am checking out.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ulti.TV.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, UltiTV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with UltiTV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Ulti.TV.
Make sure you're actually on cam 2 and not cam 1.
We're on cam 2 and the microphone is on. So what do we say now? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to make a Ultimate Atlantic Universe.
A what?
Post-final scene.
A what? Sorry?
What? Wait, what
A
are you
what?
talking about?
Genuinely, I don't know. Anyway, where are we going next?
Where are we going next? That's what we talk about.
Wait, what are you doing?
We're going next to you.
Maybe.
On your screen.
Okay. Subscribe, like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
UltiTV, the best in the world. Oh, what's actually the next event? I think UK Nats.
Yeah, UK Nationals, first weekend of September.
Yes.
That's awesome. Hey,
Is that even Europe?
It's EUCR West, technically, so yes. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to bed. See you later.
See you later. Just drop mic. Welcome to the team, Philip. Hello. Welcome to the team, John.
CC.
Welcome to the team, Joel. Thank you.
Gotta milk the camera.
Ulti.TV.